we start with some breaking news coming in from Lebanon, where the Israeli army has carried out what it calls a targeted strike on a senior Hezbollah commander in the southern suburbs of Beirut. The military says he was responsible for Saturday's attack on the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights, which killed 12 children and teenagers. Israel blames Hezbollah. The Lebanese armed group denies any responsibility. And let's take this straight to the region, where our DW Beirut Bureau Chief Mohammed Shreite and DW correspondent Tanya Kramer in Jerusalem are standing by. Mohammed, tell us more about the attack.
Well, Nicole, around 20 minutes to 8 o'clock local time, a loud blast was heard in Beirut, and plume of smoke could be seen rising above the southern suburb of the capital, Beirut. Information circulating indicates so far that this was potentially a drone airstrike that targeted a senior Hezbollah figure, so it looks like an assassination. Eyewitnesses we spoke to in the proximity of the explosion said that it targeted a Hezbollah facility in that neighborhood, and particularly the Shura Council. This is yet to be confirmed. This is a densely populated area, very densely populated, so we know that there are casualties. Some injured are being hospitalized at the moment. We haven't yet received information on fatalities, but this has been circulating.
Tanya, what are officials in Israel saying?
Well, the Israeli military put out a statement rather quickly, taking responsibility for this strike. The statement said it carried out a targeted strike on the commander responsible for the, quote, murder of children and other Israeli civilians. They didn't name the person they targeted. Here in the Israeli media, there is talk about a very high-ranking Hezbollah leader that was targeted. What's also interesting in this statement is there is so far no changes for the home front guidelines. This is for the Israeli public, what they should do in the event if there's an escalation. For example, so far no changes. There would be an update if something would be coming. And of course, we're also getting first reactions now from Israeli politicians, among them the Israeli defense minister, Yoav Gallant. He said Hezbollah crossed the red line, saying basically what we've been hearing from Israeli officials in recent days. They had been saying there will be retaliation for the incident on Saturday on the occupied Golan Heights that killed 12 children. And today again also a civilian was killed in from shrapnel in an airstrike, in a rocket strike in the north.
Mm-hmm. Mohammed, so Israel targeting Hezbollah, how is the group likely to respond?
Well, you know, tension is peaking in Lebanon. This brings about anxiety in Beirut and fear from a wider confrontation. You know, in these moments, an all-out war cannot be ruled out. Up until today, this was still a kind of a calculated or contained confrontation, but this is certainly a new chapter with the attack today. This is clear extension of the rules of engagement and somehow crossing red lines. There's no doubt that Hezbollah will respond to that. Now, the timing, the nature, the geography of this response is yet to be determined and is anticipated. We've been following on the very, very political and diplomatic, very tense political and diplomatic efforts in the last hours to push Israel towards a calculated response that would avoid attack major cities in Lebanon, particularly Beirut, and avoid civilians, and also to pressure Hezbollah to exercise self-restraint. So we're now watching how this attack on Hezbollah's stronghold near Beirut will unfold.
Tanya, the region is on tenterhooks. This strike in Lebanon now as a response to what happened in the Golan Heights over the weekend. How big are fears in Israel of a full-scale war between Israel and Hezbollah?
Well, I mean, the reading here is now that, depending on what Israel will do next as well, but is now that it's now in the hands of Hezbollah. And this is really also the feeling here that this is just now at the beginning. So we have to wait and see how Hezbollah will now respond. And as Mohammed said, in Beirut, it is in a stronghold that's in an attack in southern Beirut. So it depends now how Hezbollah would respond to that. And I mean, there has been, we have been these warnings, there has been these threats by Israel that they will retaliate. There had been diplomatic efforts to contain Israel's retaliation. So basically, it is a very uncertain moment here in the region and also a very dangerous moment here, which could then now go either way.
Very dangerous moment indeed. That was Tanya Kramer in Jerusalem and Mohammed Shreita, our Beirut bureau chief. Thank you so much for that update, and we'll be in touch with you.